Washington Huskies are looking for a new head basketball coach now that the team has announced that Mike Hopkins will not return after their season ends in the postseason, Pac-12 tournament, whether they make a run in the Pac-12 tournament somehow and make the NCAA tournament, which seems highly unlikely with today's game against USC, a hot USC team too. So here's the thing. Who is the candidates to be the next head coach of the Washington Huskies basketball team? And there are 6 candidates that are highlighted that could be. I'm going to add a 7th one that's more for fun and more of a nostalgia pick. So let's talk about that one first and foremost, and that's Will Conroy, who I think no matter what and whoever the head coach is will remain at the program. I don't actually think Will Conroy will get the job. I think it'll be kind of similar to Ryan Grubb, where he will get an interview, they'll talk to him. But I think he's a little bit far away from being a head coach, especially he's like kind of that defensive coordinator of the team, and the team's defense just frankly hasn't been very good. But he knows Seattle, he knows the high schools around the area, he's a good recruiter, so I still see him being a huge part of the program going forward. So here are the candidates I think that could be the next head coach. Let's start off with Randy Bennett from St. Mary's, who we just saw yesterday beat Gonzaga for the WCC title. Almost like every single time there's a coaching vacancy, his name comes. He's been 23 years at St. Mary's, and they're about to make their 10th appearance in the NCAA tournament in the past 20 years. Great head coach. Personally, I don't see him leaving St. Mary's. He has that program humming, but that's someone we're going to give a call to. Next is Darian DeVries from Drake. He's 48 years old. They've never won fewer than 20 games in a season. And overall, he's a good coach, a team that goes far, and I think a coach we'd make a call for. I think the favorite for me, a guy that would like get me really excited about being the next head coach of the Washington Huskies is the next guy on the list, which is Dusty May from FAU. We saw FAU make a run all the way to the Final Four last year, which is pretty remarkable for being a mid-major. And he's probably one of the hottest names on the market, not just for the Huskies, but all over. He's probably a candidate for the Ohio State job. In his 6 seasons at Florida Atlantic, he's won 24 and 67. They went to a 35-win team last year and made the Final Four. Nick Medved from Colorado, another guy who's a rising star, mid-major coach, 4 20-win seasons in the past 5 years, and that only resulted in 1 trip to the Final Four, to the NCAA tournament. So I think for him, he's probably like looking at that as like, man, I can win 20 games a year and not make the tournament. Maybe if I go to a Big Ten school like Washington, it's so weird saying the Big Ten school like Washington, he can make the tournament. 2 more guys on the list. Kyle Smith, Washington State. Hey, it wouldn't be the first time a Washington Cougar left the Cougars to come to Washington. A coach back in the day, Marv Harshman, did it. The Cougars went 23-8. They're going to make the NCAA tournament. And we'd be kind of dumb not to look at him at least and try to say, hey, you guys don't really have a conference. Why don't you come and join us here at the other side of the state? Now, Cougar fans would hate that. Husky fans would probably like it. I think he's a good, strong candidate for the job. I'm not going to go out here and say he's the best candidate, but I think Kyle Smith would do a really good job. He knows how to coach at a major conference like the Pac-12, and I think Husky fans would be really happy to see him. Last but not least, Danny Sprinkle, Utah State. He led Montana State to consecutive NCAA tournament appearances. In his first year, Utah State is ranked. Sprinkle is a Pullman native also, whose father played at the University of Washington. So you have some ties back to the Huskies there. Now, those are the candidates. My favorite, as I said, would be Dusty May of FAU. I think he'd be a home run hire, kind of like I thought Jed Fish would be a home run hire. Those two would be like literally just an absolutely home run hire. Now, here's the thing. Huskies basketball needs a freaking just absolute makeover. It's kind of sad. Hopkins in his second year went 22-5, I believe, made the NCAA tournament. We were pretty much humming, and then everything went to shit. I was a season ticket holder that year, and went to almost every single whole game of my brother Sammy. And we loved that team. We loved the energy, and the program seemed like it was rising to the right spot. I mean, what happened after that is beyond me. I have no idea how it went from so good to so damn bad so quickly, but it did. And now we're here. We're looking for a new coach. This is unacceptable. Washington Huskies basketball should be better. It should be a program that has made the NCAA tournament in 2011 and one time after 2011, two times in the last 14 years. That makes no sense in a city like Seattle, a university like the University of Washington, with the recruiting base we have, with the guys we've got. It's time we do better, and I think one of these head coaches would help us do better. Too bad it didn't work out with Hopkins. Seems like a great dude, but just doesn't seem like a coach that really was ready for the new era of basketball, where the 2-3 defense doesn't need to be over and overplayed, or the zone defense maybe doesn't work as much as it used to. Basketball past Mike Hopkins. He'll probably get a job somewhere else smaller, just like Romar did. But in general, it's just time to go get the next guy. So my name is George. This is Huskies on Tap. I'm George on Tap, part of the Seattle on Tap network. Thank you for watching. If you reach the end of this video, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel and comment down below what head coach would you like to see be the next head coach of a Washington Huskies basketball team.